lately I started rigging my Blackmagic 6K. I still prefer light setup, and I wanted to buy a follow focus, so I was considering Tilta Mini, Fotga DP500 Make 3, or Tilta Nucleus Nano. So first two manual follow focuses, and Tilta is still manual, but it is wireless setup. So you got a motor which you have to power, and you got a handle to pull focus. And for Tilta Nucleus Nano you need power source, both for the motor and the handle itself. And you have to remember about additional power sources. So it means that you need a battery pack for the camera, additional one. Then if you use something below 12 volts, the torque of the motor is not that great, so it can't handle tougher lenses or tighter lenses. So I guess this one, if you don't want to worry about stuff, this one is the best, because everything is in one piece, and you just take this and you got follow focus. So seems to be no-brainer to choose the manual one, unless you got someone who pulls focus for you. Then the wireless one got an advantage, because with this one you can only use a whip, but whip is not as good as the wireless stuff. So if you're doing everything by yourself, including pulling focus, then this thing is a way to go over the Nucleus Nano, I think. After considering all the pros and cons of each setup, I went with the Tilta Mini Follow Focus. I think this one is the lightest of the bunch. Fotga is around half a kilo and it needs 2 rods, so you need a plate with 2 rods, and this is additional half a kilo. The Tilta Mini Follow Focus is 180 grams, just the knob. You got a 10 centimeters rod in a box, and this one is 26 grams. But I got myself Smallrig carbon fiber rods, because they seems to be as rigid as the aluminum ones, but they are lighter. And this 15 centimeters one is 18 grams, so 10 grams lighter than the aluminum one, and it is 5 centimeters longer, which makes a difference. That's what she said, because this one is not enough for the Sigma 18 to 35. I mean, if you push it really hard and move everything to the edge, maybe you can use this short one, but this one is better, and I can use it with every of my lenses. I got 3 for the Blackmagic. So this thing is around 100 bucks, and you got this knob with the gear, and you can turn the gear to pull the focus. Then you got this rod, and you also got a mount to mount it on the Tilta cage, but I have Smallrig, so it's not compatible. And also arm extension to mount it on a double rod system. Of course you mount it on the one rod, but this extends the reach, so you can mount it to the rods which are under the camera. And of course there are hard stops which are really annoying, so after trying them for like 15 minutes I removed them, and the removal process is 10 minutes, maybe 5 minutes, quite complicated, and it is not like fast on and off. If you remove them, then it's a pain in the ass to put them back, so it's just like if you remove them you never use them. And that's the main difference between the Tilta and Fotga, that Fotga got really good hard stops. You can remove and store on the follow focus itself, but the Fotga is heavier, it's more expensive, and it's harder to get, so the shipping takes like 2 weeks. So I went with this one, but I'll probably get a Fotga also and compare them and use Fotga for bigger rigs. But for small run and gun rig, this one is really nice. And lately my favorite lens is Canon 35. So The setup is with this Canon 85, with this Canon 35. The setup is really light. I can weight it. It is 1.8 kilos without the drive, so with the drive probably a bit more, and without the follow focus, but with the rod attached. So to be able to attach it to Smallrig cage, I had to buy this. I had to buy this attachment, but I was not aware it sticks so far. That's why I went with the 15 centimeters rod, and I also bought 20 centimeters rod because I measured the distance from the cage to the focus ring in Sigma 18-35. It is around 20 centimeters. That's why I got 20s, but they are too long. So probably if I got 70 to 200, I would use them. But for lenses I got, 15 centimeters rod is enough. So basically you install the rod, you clamp it down, and then you put the follow focus on the rod, and you have to line this up with the gear on the lens. And I got myself Tilta gears for the Canon 35 and Sigma. It was the same diameter, and I got another one for the Laowa 12. But if you got the follow focus aligned with the gear on the lens, then there is a lever down below you have to pull to tighten the follow focus, and you're good to go. So with the Canon 35, this setup is really small and quite comfortable to run. It is light, and the knob is like quite close to the camera, and it weighs 2 kilos and 20 grams with the drive and follow focus. So the full setup is 2 kilos, and there is also a plate, so if I remove the plate it's less than 2 kilos. So it is nice to run. Of course you don't have a monitor and a mic, but in most cases, if I do not shoot people, I do not record the sound, or I record the sound using internal mics, and it's enough. But why I have removed the hard stops? I was not able to pull focus within the full range of all the lenses I got, so it was kinda useless to have it. And the hard stop, even if they are not tightened, then they ring, so you record this strange ringing noise, and sometimes they catch the follow focus ring anyway, and they stop you from pulling focus, which is quite annoying. There is also this temporary gear with the Tilta Mini. It works, but I think it's better to have something more permanent. So the seamless gear on each lens you use with the camera, and it's faster to change them than to attach this thing every time. I can use this thing on a zoom ring of the Sigma, so there is still use for this. Or if I got new lens, I can use it temporarily till I got the seamless ring. So it is quite useful, but there is only one with Tilta Mini. So with this one, I would say that pulling focus with this is really nice. It is a bit dampened. It got nice feeling to it, and you can be quite precise with the Tilta Mini. So it is okay in that regard. But for some lenses which are quite hard to turn, like the Laowa 12 millimeters, sometimes the follow focus slips, so you have to be aware of this. And basically you have to push harder to be able to get consistent focus on these tighter lenses. So I wonder, how many turns do you need to go through full range of the Canon? So I put a red marker on the follow focus ring to check how much it takes to go through the full range of the Canon 35. So it is less than one rotation to get through the full range, but if I got the hard stops, they take some space, and it was just like 2 millimeters not enough to pull the whole range of this lens, or it was just on the verge of pulling the whole range with this gear. So one pro of the Fotga follow focus is that it comes with 3 different gears, so you can exchange the gear and you can align the gear with the lens and the focus throw of the lens. That way you can move every lens within one rotation of the follow focus wheel, and that way you can use hard stops, and if you don't want to use hard stops, you can remove them in Fotga, and here you are quite limited. So with the Canon, I'm able to pull focus with one rotation, the whole range. Let's see other lenses. So to change the lens, you have to unclamp the follow focus, move it away, take the lens, put the cap on the lens, here is Laowa 12 millimeters. It is more or less the same place when the follow focus wheel ends up, and the difference is that this lens focuses the other way than other two, so you have to turn other direction to pull focus, which is quite annoying. But anyway, to pull the whole focus, it is more than one rotation. So with hard stops you are not able to use the full range of the focus of this lens. That's why I removed them. It is a bit harder to pull focus with this lens because it is quite stiff and tight, but you can do it if you use more force. It's not a problem. But sometimes I get a feeling like this rod is bending outwards if you pulling the focus. So the other aluminum rod, it is stiffer in that regard, so might be better to use with this lens. And if you are concerned, you cannot see end of the rod of 15 centimeters rod with this lens in the picture, so it is safe to use this one. It is quite comfortable to pull focus with this Laowa 12 millimeters and Canon 35. I've checked them few times in the field, and it is really nice, and it is 10 times better than pulling focus with your lens ring, because you both supporting the camera. You do not introduce micro shakes when you're pulling the focus, so it is like 10 times better. And also, even if you are not pulling the focus but you want to focus on something, it is better to use the follow focus than the ring. It's more precise, so in that regard it is really nice to have it. What about Sigma 18-35? Sigma is much longer. You can probably reach the focus gear on the Sigma with the shorter rod included in the with the Tilta Mini if you put the gear on the edge of the focus ring. Maybe it is then possible, and you have to also put the rod on the edge of the clamp. But with the 15 centimeters one, it's much easier to adjust. I would check how many rotations I need on a Sigma to pull the full focus. It is on the marker. It is less than one rotation. It is like 80% of the rotation to pull the full focus on Sigma. So with Sigma you can use hard stops from Tilta Mini and you should be okay. You just cramp together both hard stops and you should be able to use the full focus of the lens, and you can even use them as hard stops for the full range. The gear seems to be ideal for this lens to get a focus, but if you got more gears, then you can pull focus faster or slower. If you choose to, with one gear you are quite limited. So that's the advantage of the Fotga having 3 gears. With Sigma 1835, the follow focus wheel is quite far from the camera, so it is not that steady to pull focus with this lens and this follow focus. It introduces a bit of the shake. I think it's still better than using the lens itself to pull focus, but it is not as steady as Canon or Laowa I got. If you think it would be steady with this lens, I would say it's not. I haven't tested that much because lately I prefer Canon. It's much smaller and lighter, but I think with this one it is still better to pull focus with the Tilta, but you would introduce the shakiness to your footage anyway, so it is less comfortable with the Sigma lens. It is really far away from the camera, so not that good as other two, not that comfortable as other two. Generally, this Tilta is really nice. There is also a port here. You can connect a whip or the crank, but either one is not included, and with Fotga you got a crank included, so you can pull focus faster with a crank because there is a lever. And the whip is also a really nice thing if you want to film yourself, and you can get 40 centimeters whip to pull focus when you are sitting away from the camera. There are even longer whips, so here it is. I'm quite happy about it. So for the small run and gun setup, I think this one is better than anything else. It got better quality than any sub 90 bucks follow focuses. So I think that's the perfect compromise between the quality and the price, this Tilta Mini. But if you want something more serious, then I think you should go with Fotga DP500. And you can see you can see sample footage when I'm using the Tilta Mini in my other Blackmagic related videos. So it's in the title if Tilta Mini is used. So if you want precise, light and cheap follow focus, Tilta Mini is a way to go. But if you got bigger lenses, you need also to buy additional rods. It is not flexible solution because there is only one gear, and I haven't seen any additional gears that are compatible with this one on Tilta page. But for the price, it is a really nice thing. So it is really good solution if you want small run and gun setup. It is really light. Yeah, it probably won't work correctly with a big cinema glass, especially that you are not able to use the hard stops with lenses with really long focus throw. It's for sure good option for the first follow focus, but I can honestly recommend this one for Blackmagic 6K. I'm really happy about this for my run and gun setup, especially with Canon 35mm. It is really light and precise combo. Cheers, mate.